Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nadmill 74 walkthroughs. This time we're going to be doing the Ring City. Just a reminder, if you haven't already, I didn't show it in the last video, but if you've just done Ariandel, I'd recommend going back to the Corvian settlement and talking to the guy who you said, I am Ash, as you can get the Titanite stab from him. So first of all, in the Ring City, you can talk to this stone-humped hag, and you can purchase from her the split leaf greatsword, as well as some divine blessings and hidden blessing, and you can get some embers if you want them as well. I might as well, I guess. And you can get some rusted gold coins and things as well. So, bit of a useful little thing to start with, and we're going to continue down. I don't think there's any items here yet. There is an aquamarine dagger that we're going to get up the top, but that's most of what we're going to get, other than maybe some chunks, I think it is, up top as well. So to start with, you want to kill these summoners, so try and avoid the little guys that they've summoned on the ground, and just deal with the summoners first of all. You can kill these guys on the ground as well, but primary focus should be on the summoners, because the summoners just keep bringing them back otherwise. So yeah, we can finish these guys on the ground just so we don't have to deal with them again. There's only three summoners at this initial area. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up top. There's going to be a Harald, sorry, H-A-R-A-L-D. And he's going to jump down, or he should jump down. Yep. And so what you can do with the Herald is you can drop down and plunge. Now I actually messed up there. That's how not to do it. What you want to do is try and plunge right on their black. There you go, right on the black bit of the head. So it just gives you that sort of huge critical damage that usually you can pretty much one-shot them. So. Always useful to get the plunges on the Heralds. I definitely recommend it. Aquamarine dagger up the top, so that's what I mentioned. It's quite a fast attack, good stun lock on the dagger. So I haven't really enjoyed it too much, but yeah, just one of the weapons you can get early on in Ring City. Dropping down off the edge, we will be picking up this item. Now just watch out for the guy who jumps up out of the ground. You can also pop over and grab the murky hand scythe here. The rest of this area is just twinks, so I'm not even going to worry about killing the sorcerers. There's a couple of sorcerers that spawn, but if you just pick up the twinks, you can get out of here pretty quick. Just watch out for the dregs, the giant dregs that they can summon that you just saw. So from here, we're just going to pop down this way. To the right. And now you can go around that way past the angel and grab the Ring of Steel Protection +3. But I recommend going and getting rid of the summoner who summons the angel first, and then getting it afterwards. The only downside of that is you may have a bit more trouble with these guys if you don't have that ring on, because they deal a lot of damage. So you've got to be a little bit strategic with these guys. Try and backstab that guy as soon as you get in here, and then see if you can get another backstab on him as soon as you can. Because yeah, you will take a lot of damage. That Lothric War Banner that the one uses to buff has quite an impressive effect on their damage. So just try and be very cautious with this battle. Make sure you're at full health as much as possible, and get those backstabs and right bumpers to finish off after the backstab. See if that guy dropped anything. Yep, Titanite chunks. They do drop quite a few chunks a lot of the time, so it is worth picking up the items that they drop. And you can get the soul item there as well. So we're going to go get rid of the summoner, and then we're going to go back and get that Ring of Steel Protection. So these are the summoners that summon the angel. So you'll see the angel up the top left there. So you can hide behind this pillar and attack him from behind the pillar. And then you'll see as soon as you kill him, the angel will disappear. And so that gives you a chance to go back and get that Ring of Steel Protection +3. We will be heading up that way next, and then we will be continuing on through the area. Going up the way that I just pointed, you can get the Covetous Silver Serpent Ring +3, which is a very useful item. If you end up coming to the Drake Heap before you've killed Cinder, you can get those extra souls even from Cinder, from getting the Ring of Steel Protection +3. I mean, Silver Serpent Ring +3. So, it is useful. Very good to get, especially as soon as you can, and equip it as soon as you can. Helps you to get those extra levels. Up in here, just avoid all the guys and go for the items. They will just keep respawning. It's not worth fighting them because they will honestly not stop respawning. I have tested it out, and I was hoping you could go slowly through here, but you honestly cannot. So, run through, get the important stuff. There is a great soul dregs that you can, the spell. That's that huge magic that they're often going to use on us that you'll probably see happen behind us there. Yep, you just saw those great soul dregs. When you cast it, it's not as impressive, but it is still a useful dark magic that you can use. I'm going to equip that Silver Serpent +3, and we're going to drop down. We're not actually going to drop down this way. This is sort of a shorter way that you can take. But now that we've come this way, that tower's collapsed and broken a hole in the chapel where the Lothric Knights were. So if we go back up here to the right, this is where the tower's collapsed into, and you can then go up and lap. So if you're wanting to do Lap's questline, you need to come up this way.
Oh, fantastic. Call me Lap. I have a feeling we're going... Oh, that's the way that...
Alright, so he's talking about the permanent purging monument. He wants to get rid of his hollowing. There, again, is another way that you can go down to the left here. What I'd recommend doing is actually, if you want to go down there later, you can. But I recommend dropping down to the right. I'm not even going to bother showing the left area. There's a couple of Titanite chunks, but really nothing that important. Right-hand areas where you want to go and get the projected heal. And you want to then drop down here. There's some Titanite chunks that you can get. Just watch out for that guy. Yeah, that's why you watch out for that guy. So that item that was just down there to the left, that I didn't manage to get, that was some Titanite chunks. So it's actually completely not worth it. I wanted to show it for completeness sake, but you can hear my voice say it. It's Titanite chunks. Trust me. It's not worth getting. Yeah, the Lothric Knight is just stupidly overpowered. I would recommend the Steel Protection Ring for this area, for sure. So there is one more item that I wanted to get through that area that I just went. It's the banner. It's what that first knight used to buff the other one. So it's quite a useful item in terms of buffs, and it is a spear weapon as well. 2 uses. So you can see Lap's disappeared. We'll be running into him a little bit later. Oof. Watch out, because he will summon a great soul drag to try and come after you, so don't spend too long there. There's guys that drop down on you as well. So try and avoid that guy as much as possible. Same goes with the Lothric Warbanner. No point in fighting them. You will just get absolutely wrecked like I showed you there a second ago. You can beat them, but takes a lot of patience and a lot of just panic rolls to get to that point, so I don't find it to be worth it. Coming down here, you'll get your second bonfire, and you'll have Lap up to the top right, so we can go and talk to him. He'll tell you about a slab that's around here that you can go and search after. He says he'll give it to you. He could go fetch it for you. Basically, with Lap, he'll go and search it for you if you reload this area 3 times. So it's easier just to go and get it yourself, to be honest. It's nothing too hard as long as you follow this method that I'm showing you here for this area, because the angels can get really annoying if you don't follow a very specific way of getting through here. So first of all, just roll through this building, wait for the angel to stop shooting on you. He should start to focus his attention on those thralls. Once he starts to focus his attention on the thralls, we're going to make a run for it to the next building. So he should focus now. No? Okay, usually he focuses on the thralls, but obviously he's not too interested this time. So just coming past the thralls, roll through it, and you can grab the item, grab the ember, and we'll drop down, go by the house, and now this is the little trick shortcut. What you want to do is you want to jump as soon as you reach the edge, and that'll allow you to pretty much guaranteed drop on this branch. Very rare that you miss it, but it's just a matter of getting used to where you have to jump from by that house. First 1 or 2 times you might jump, but it's really easy to kill that summoner this way, and just means that you don't have to worry too much about the angel anymore. The angel's already gone now. We've got our twinks, so we can head back up the route system. Couple of things to get before we head to the swamp area. There are the giant door shield. So I will show that to you in a second. But before we go and get that, there's a couple of things up here. We can grab this item, Blind Blessing, and we're going to drop back down by the route. And if you come up to the right, I tend to just grab this now because it's just one less thing that you have to worry about. We will probably come back to here a tiny bit later, but this is where you can go and fight the twin demons and get into the ring city. So if you just continue down that orange section there, you can drop down to the twin demons. But we're going to head back to the second bonfire because there's still a whole swamp area that I want to show you. So let's go back and grab the giant doors and head to the swamp area. Okay, so coming up here, you can get some black fire bombs if we haven't already. I think we actually just came and grabbed those. Cool. Just making sure we've got everything. Coming down to the left here, if you hugging the wall to the left, we can grab the item up against these little stone pillars. Tighten that chunk. And then we'll have a couple of thralls on the other side of this building, so just watch out for them as you get around. You can easily take them out with ow. Okay. I got a bit close there. I can usually take them out before they attack me. There we go. You get a Desert Pyromancer Garb, and you can, if you just follow this area along, there's a little spot where you can drop down to the giant doors. There we go. Make sure you land on the ash. There's this whole ash pile that you can land on. So there's your giant door shield. And just watch out for this guy. You can see the little sword poking through. Coming back up, grab the item now that we missed while we were going down to drop down to the angel summoner. You got the thrall here. Just hold up your shield and get bumpers on him. And what we can do now is there's a Titanite scale up here. So this is probably the best way to get into the swamp area, is you can just actually jump across, and you can grab the scale, and then we can drop down. Oop. Drop down, and there's a thrall here as well. Oof. Watch out for that. That's a curse attack that the angels will use on you if you stay in a building for too long. Try not to spend too long in one building. So again, we're not even going to worry about those items yet. We'll come back to them once we've got rid of the angel. This path allows you to avoid the angel, so you can see here, as long as you stay this side of the tree, you get a chance to heal if you need it. And then you can pop down to this tree over here. Again, a bit of a chance to heal if you need it. Just be a bit careful and make sure you're running the whole time. And again, if you have any problems, you can pop this side to heal. Gonna go up some now. Again, little spot here if you need more health. Lots of little breaks that you can take if you find that the angel is hitting you, because there is obviously a bit of RNG in that. So I did pretty well that time, but you can get hit a little bit more than I did sometimes. I just ignore that thrall because I don't really want to get hit by the angel, so I'm making my run straight to the summoner. And then you'll see that'll get rid of that angel. Grab the twinks, and we're going to head back down. And now there is a little way of getting rid of this herald a bit quicker. So you can actually just plunge him from this location if you time it right, which we didn't. Anyway, the only item here that you want to grab is the herald curved greatsword. A lot of people do use it in PvP, so it can be quite a useful item, useful weapon. Woof. Just trying to avoid that herald at the moment. Usually you don't have too many problems. You can grab that and come up this way, and we'll deal with the thrall here. Just hold the shield up, and then we can just drop down and drop down again. Now we'll come back for the items that we missed. So that titanite slab that we were talking about earlier. So that's just over here. So this guy won't attack you. You don't actually have to worry about him attacking you generally. As long as you're quick enough, you can run in, grab it, and he shouldn't attack you. He has once or twice, but usually he's pretty timid. Grab the soul item there as well. We just want to get past this herald here. And let's try and grab these items in order. So I'll start at the far end of the swamp, and we'll make our way to the desert pyramids up the top. So all the way down this end, you should get the desert pyromancer gloves, I think it is. And then the skirts just down here. From there, you can make your way up this route, and we will be getting the Ring of Favor +3. So again, a lot of really important rings in the Dreg heap before we get to Ring City, and some more important ones when we get to Ring City, like Havel's +3, and there's the Wolf Ring as well, +3. Just for that extra weight and the extra poise. Soul item there, and there's another item straight ahead, Tundaan Chunk. Try not to get poisoned, but most of the time you are going to get poisoned here either way. I just try and avoid it as long as possible. Going back up the route system to where the summoner was, you can actually just get this item off to the left. It's nothing important, but again, for completeness sake, I will just show you what it is. I think it's just a chunk. Yep. And then we can just drop off onto this right branch, follow that one up. Now we're going to have a very dangerous pyromancer up here. If you're not comfortable fighting her, you might just want to run past these guys. I'll give you a couple of tips on how I usually fight her. So typically wait for the thralls to come at you. I wouldn't try and engage them all at once. So there we go, we've got one coming towards us. use your shield up, and then you can either backstab or get a couple of right bumpers. Make sure you roll. Get ready for her attacks. Now I try and get her to use the flame fan, and then once she's done, usually 2 attacks is her sort of average, but she can put on 3 on you, and she can use that whip as well. Try and bait out the couple of attacks. So that was actually the 3, and then you can get a chance to get some good right bumper hits in once she's done a couple of those flame fans. Just watch out for the whip. Whoop. So 2 to 3 hits in each time, but do watch out. If you get caught in that, it can be pretty damaging, as you can see there. Have your shield ready for that whip. Oof, she is really intense with that flame at the moment. There we go. Should be able to get the flame fan pyro from her, and we'll then get the Desert Sorceress hood just a little bit further up. And that's most of the important items. There's one down here to the right that we can grab. I know there's one on another reach system. I know it's not important though, and it just takes ages to get to, so I'm not going to bother about showing that one. What we can do is we can just follow this route system to the end, and you can see there's a nice ash pile below us, so you can just drop down onto the ash, and then we'll have the way to the twin princes, not the Lothric and Lorien, the twin demons this time. Twin demons and the demon prince. So for this fight you are able to summon Gale and Lap. We should actually go back and talk to Lap, and then both of their signs should be around here. Because we're not embered, we're not seeing them, but I'll just ember up just to show you where the signs are. So we've got Gale, and then we've got Lap. So again, it's sort of your choice as to whether you want to summon them for this fight. I'm going to show you without summons, but if you do summon them, they take the heat off a lot in the first phase, but they tend to die pretty quick in the second phase, so when you're fighting the demon prince. Either way, you want to try and get these demons on their own if you can. Try and just fight one of them at a time, because trying to take both of them on is quite nightmarish. What you want to do is you want to take out the demon in pain first. So we're going to leave that one alone, and we're going to head to the demon in pain. Black Knight weapons or the Farron Ultra Great Sword are both useful in this fight. Bleed can also be a full weapon. Alright, so try and get this demon in pain first. He's a bit more red than the other one. The other one's a bit more orange. They do have different faces as well. So you notice I'm trying to get him to stay by me while I get rid of the other ones. So I'm trying to get just one at a time if possible. This is sort of the hardest part of this fight. Once we get down to the Demon Prince, it's going to be a lot easier to sort of show strategies. At this point, it's a lot of rolling and a lot of trying to just avoid that AoE attack that the other one's going to be doing, the poison. The toxic, sorry. Try and get try and stay in close and get behind them where you can. Again, I'm ready for those toxic attacks, so I'm not being too aggressive. You can see the Demon in Pain started to spewing out the toxic. So they've changed roles. So the reason I get rid of Demon in Pain first is because then we'll get the second phase. We're going to have the Demon Prince with lasers, Whereas if we did it the other way around, we'd get the Demon Prince with the meteors. And lasers gives you a big opportunity to punish, whereas the meteors just is a lot harder to actually find spots to punish the Demon Prince. You can just kind of keep strafing around him, getting one hit in, one or two, and then you'll get those opportunities for the riposte when he starts to sort of hunch over. Again, get ready for this, so he's going to get back up. I'm going to heal one more time just because I want Lloyd's Sword Ring active, so I can do that little bit extra damage. So as soon as you can, go in and get a couple of hits, and then try and stay to your right-hand side near him. So stay to the right a bit, because typically he'll attack a little bit to the left. So you can actually avoid some attacks just by being on the right side. And just stay sort of in front of him. You can see what attacks he's going to do, and make sure you roll through when he does any fly-up attacks. Again, hold your shield up whenever possible. Just if you do happen to miss a roll, it just protects you from the damage that he can deal. He can deal quite a bit of damage. So there where he flies up and you start to see those lights on the ground, he's about to do his laser. You can get behind him and get sort of 5 attacks even, and if you get lucky you'll get to stagger him. And he'll do a lot of charges, but if you're not in front of him during the charge, he'll typically stop the charge. So he's very adaptable to your play. Try and get behind him as much as possible. So you stay in front of him when he's doing the attacks, and then if he starts to do an attack, you can roll through and to the side or a bit behind. And just allows you to punish that a little bit more than you would be able to otherwise. I was pretty sure I rolled through that, but game says no. And again, that's where holding up that shield just gives you that little bit of protection if you do make a mistake. That's it for the Demon Prince, and now we're going to head into the Ring City. Might as well get the extra souls. If you got the Symbol of Avarice on you, chuck that in the Shield of Want on. If you have Mendicant Staff or another Shield of Want, you can use that in the other hand as well. We're going to have a quick rest to the bonfire, and then we're going to head into Ring City. Again, you might want to use your souls here. I'm not going to bother just because I'm taking you guys through a walkthrough and I'm probably powerful enough already. But yeah, we're going to get the... So we've got the banner. We're going to raise the banner here, and that's going to take us into Ring City. B-flat music? That would suck if you meant to press record instead of stream and went through all of this. Not entirely sure what you're meaning. So I'm going through the walkthroughs as streams because I don't go and edit them or anything. My first take is usually good enough, so I am just putting up the walkthroughs as first take. A little bit behind on uploading them to YouTube, but I'm just letting this clip play because honestly, it's such a beautiful clip. But it's just nice to have on here. Gives me a bit of a breather after the Demon Princess too. Alright, so to the left we can grab the Titanite Scale, and then we're going to go through and talk to the first NPC.
Dost thou?
Yeah, I'll say the gods.
A wretched lie. How wouldst one such as thee?
Oh, I didn't look at chat in the last stream. Oh, sorry about that, B-flat.
Thy scheme is known to me.
Yeah, my bad.
I know what it is thou desirest.
I usually am pretty good at responding, so I must have not seen.
Why else wouldst give rest?
Must have not seen those. Sorry.
If it has, if the
Oh, good. Thanks. Glad you're enjoying the guides. Yeah, all the previous ones are up on YouTube. I had a little bit of a problem with my mic. I was still getting set up with streaming a while back when I was doing the initial walkthroughs. But yeah. Anyway, for this part, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting behind the pillars. There's a couple of pillars. I actually shouldn't have run to that second one there. I'm just used to sort of skipping the first hiding spot. It's a little bit more risky, but there's three main hiding spots that you can get there that you're pretty safe from the arrows. Just watch out for that skeleton, and other than that, you'll be alright. Got the soul item, and there will be a crystal lizard here. Just try and trap him up against the edge, and should be able to finish him off once you get him trapped. Several hundred hours in the game. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think I'm going to be telling you too much new, but yeah, hopefully it's good to hopefully enjoy them. Alright, so what we're doing is we're just taking down the Alright. Let me just reset for a second. So if you start to get in trouble, just pop down here, wait for him to summon one of the close range hammer boys, and then come back up. Now what you want to do is you want to get a couple of hits in, probably about 2 hits, and then you want to make sure you're getting out the way so you don't get hit by any of the arrows or the other guys that he summons. I tend to use this as a little reset point, so I just wait until you hear that summoning noise and you'll see the red glow, and then you can run back up to him as you get the glow. I'm going to try and just finish him here. It's a little bit dangerous because I know that guy's after me, but once we get rid of him, we'll get the Divine Blessing, Titanite Chunks, and now I can show you the rest of the items in this area. Primary thing there is getting rid of him though. So there are some items, like I'll grab this one now, then we'll grab on the way back though. So there's the Ember, there's the item down here. 2 Titanite Chunks. And I think there's some green blossoms and things. There's nothing too important around here, but we are going to grab armor. I think is it ruin? No, it's ruin armor. We'll get laps a little bit later. Ruin armor there. So that's those archers and everything that's shooting at us. They're similar to the ruin sentinels from number 2. I don't think there's anything around this side. Just wanted to check to make sure. And we'll continue on. So again, things like green blossoms, you get the budding green blossoms here. Just keep an eye out for those. There's not too many. I think there's one more set. Just deal with this guy quick. One more set over here. Oh, that was didn't expect it to hit me there. Soul item there, and green blossoms, and then there's the hidden blessing down through this little area. It is actually hidden. It's kind of, I appreciated that little fact. Alright, coming down, we'll continue where we were using as the reset point. We will come and talk to the NPCs to the left here. There's no real need to talk to them, but just pointing them out if you do want to go and explore their dialogue. Just watch out here, you want to roll, because that guy's going to try and push you off. This guy you can backstab, but just keep in mind you're going to get attacked from the left. And then we'll continue down. Again, you're going to get jumped here, so if you're a bit nervous about that, you can go and get the bonfire. Bonfire's just through there. Otherwise, we'll just go and pick up the purging stones. And what I tend to do is I tend to lure them in here, so then you don't have to deal with the ledge as well. Just watch out, they can try and jump on your head as well. We'll take the rest of the bonfire here, and just for completeness sake, we're going to make sure we follow Lap's quest line. So I'm just going to head back to within the Earthen Peak ruins. We'll chat to Lap, and then we'll come back to this bonfire inner wall. So as long as you've talked to him here at the Earthen Peak ruins, we'll be able to continue his quest through the Ring City. So B-flat, you're going to have to tell me if I miss anything. Alright, let's go and talk to Lap.
This man.
And I just exhaust his dialogue just to make sure that he's going to come. And now he should appear back at the inner wall. Okay, so Lap's just going to be standing out here having a nice gaze upon the Ring City. Just as a side note, you can actually see down into the swamp that we're going to go into later. So, kind of cool that you can actually see down into the area that we're going to be in not very much time from now.
Oh, a true. I've got the last of my to my search, and to your duty, and to the joy that lies before us. All right then. Bottoms up. Now, I'm off in.
So he's going for the Purging Monument, and we're going to help him to get there. Cool. Wants to recover his memory, who he is. Okay, jumping through here, just watch out for that guy who comes from the left. He's very cheeky. There's another guy who's going to drop down from the ceiling. So again, if you run forward, just don't let him plunge on you, and then you can get the hits in. And watch out, there's a couple of these guys who do have curse on them. You can see my curse meter starting to build up. Try and take them down as quick as possible. So it's those guys. Vines on their back. And the sort of dark emanating from them. Alright, so we're going to come across our first ringed knight. Now these guys will typically open with the lightsaber attack, as I like to call it. And what you'll tend to do is you'll get around the back of them, get the backstab, and then with the right bumpers. Just the easiest way I've found to deal with them. Woof, that was a pretty good drop. Armor and leggings. Again, another curse guy, so we're going to kill him, we're going to grab the Titanite chunk, and we're going to continue down the staircase. Now watch out, there's going to be a couple of guys jumping at you, so I tend to roll backwards and then deal with him, and there should be the other one jumping, either backstab or get a couple more right bumpers on him. Turtle Monk's going to come running out of here, so just get ready for that. I don't think I missed it, but there was the curse guy up here to the left. I just want to make sure that we're getting everything. So you can go and get that. Yeah, we got that, the Titanite chunk. And then there's a little shortcut that you can drop down there. I tend to use that a bit more in speedruns. Just through here we can deal with the turtles as soon as possible. Now, right bumpers are perfect for them if you've got a decent greatsword, but you're really going to have to be... I wouldn't even recommend fighting these guys if you have something like a katana, just because their poise is absolutely ridiculous and they will turtle up if you can't deal enough damage. But to fully deal with all the enemies in this area, you want to drop down to the middle, and you want to jump out into this area and deal with this guy. From there we can actually get a plunge on the ring knight that's below us, so just hop onto this platform, wait for him to come underneath you, and drop down, right bumper, get that attack in. Try and get behind him if you can. Just saves you having to deal with the light up spear attack. And we can then grab the shriving stone and we'll be able to head out into the Herald area. This area is pretty dangerous, so you want to be fairly quick about it if you can. So I'm pretty quick to come up and talk to Filianor. I just say Gwyn and I just deal with the conversation he wants us to go and basically get to rest. By most consensuses, the hardest boss in the game. I find him a lot easier now, but I did used to find him a lot harder. I'm actually not super sure on how to do this the best way. I tend to drop down, grab the chunks, and then get out of here. Because those heralds are going to come after you, and then you can plunge them from up here. Oh, we got a real person. Alrighty then. We're going to make sure we get to the next bonfire because I don't want to go through all that again. So we're going to just pop up the staircase. Again, that ring knight's going to come after you. You can kill him, but no huge benefit to it. So just come through. You'll probably get invaded by Alva here. Seeker of the Spurned, but there's the Black Witch set that you can get from there as well. Let's just see if we can get rid of this invader real quick, then we can do this a bit slower. Cool. Okay, so continuing on. I don't think there's any items by this ring knight as far as I remember. We should be able to just leave him. Oh. Oi. I love how I say we should be able to just leave him and then I proceed to go and take him on. What you want to try and do is take these guys on one by one, and then if you do want to take on the heralds, this is the place to do it. So try and get you while you're up on this section, and then you can go and drop down and get the plunges if you're lucky. If you fail at plunges, like I sometimes, that's how it can end up. We're going to get through the next bonfire, so I'm just going to run through, grab my souls, and not try and kill all of the heralds. I tend to leave them most of the time, but I just wanted to show in the walkthrough how to get them. That is how to get them, but you've got to aim a little bit better at their heads. I did show it on the though, so it's all good. Alright, so this is sort of the speedrun strats. Just staying to the left-hand side most of the time. Pop through the right as you exit the building. And then as we continue down here, I'm going to take that shortcut. Avoid the ring knight. And if I'm not to kill all these enemies, I actually take the ladder down, take the staircase down, because if you start trying to take the middle down, often you can get caught by those circles that the turtles put on you. So I tend to just go down the staircase and straight through the center. Question is, where are my souls? I think they're up top here. Yep. I actually often go through the middle of the heralds, just to, I don't know if it's a challenge or if it makes it easier, but I find it makes it easier because I know exactly where I'm going to be rolling. Just to point out, you can get the moss fruit from there, and there is a soul item. You can also go up to the right. That's an area where you can get the Ring Knight Spear from. Oof. Rhythmically rolling with the heralds is a little bit challenging, so if you want to deal with curse instead, you can go up to the right. Coming through this way, just avoid the locust for now, and we'll grab the prism stones. I'm going to rest at this bonfire, and then I'm going to go up to show you the Ring Knight Spear area, and then we'll go up to Havel's area as well. So dropping down, come up to the left, and you can grab the Preacher's mask, so white Preacher hood. That's basically the locust hood, locust head. And then if we continue on up this way now, so this is the way that we came down a second. If we turn to the left, instead of going down this way, we can get the Ring Knight Spear. Don't think there's any other items there. And we can come across this bridge, drop down to the right. Oops, I dropped down a bit far, but that's alright. And then drop down again. And now the bonfire that we were at a second ago is just down that direction. So if you're coming from the bonfire, you'll come, instead of going up the staircase, we're going to continue on straight. And this is where we're going to go get Havel's ring and a couple other things. Talk to Lap again. Oof. Usually I can avoid that Beyblade boy. But, if you're not quick enough, sometimes he gets you. Oof. I tend to leave that Crystal Lizard. I think he's just got a twink on him. Just because... let's try and get it for completeness sake. No. That's why I typically don't do it, because we're about to get absolutely... Typically you'll try and take these guys on one by one. If you don't manage to do it, you want to try and get the backstabs. Oof. Yep. And that's what happens when you get the gank. That's why I avoid the Crystal Lizard. So, Ring City, I expect a couple of deaths. I'm not too disappointed that I've died a couple of times. But hopefully this will give you a good show of most of the items. This is an area that you can there's two ways to go about it. Take it really slow and try and deal with all the enemies and most likely exhaust your Estus, or take it fairly fast and typically you'll end up having a couple of deaths, but mostly getting through it a lot quicker than you would otherwise. So I'm going the sort of half boss method at the moment. I really just want to get rid of these guys because I know they're going to try and keep getting me. This is what happens when they turtle up. You can kick them out of it. But trying to time the kicks is sometimes very annoying. Anyway, we got the soul item now, so we're going to head back up the ladder. Oh. And we do want to go talk to Lap. We will be coming back to Lap in a little bit, but we'll go talk to him first. Again, this time I'm just going to avoid the ring knights. I'm not going to worry about that lizard. There are a couple of curse enemies, but you can't just ignore them. So he's looking for the purging monument. At the moment it is, but we're going to find it very shortly. Get the covetous gold serpent ring +3. Try saying that 10 times fast. I don't think there's any items around the back, but I know there is that little path, so I was just making sure. And now we're going to be heading up to Silver Knight Lido, and we're going to get Havel's ring as well. So it doesn't matter whether you aim it or not for this, Lido will still spawn. So try and get that initial backstab, just gives you a little bit of a advantage. And what you want to do is you want to hang back if he's going to use that rock attack, although it does give you an opportunity to get a hit in if you manage to. Try and fight him in this middle area. I just find it's a lot easier than trying to deal with him in one of the narrow areas. If you manage to roll out the way of that attack, it gives you a good chance to get some right bumpers. I tend to be really aggressive on him just because he doesn't have the best poise, even though he's got an amazing weapon. Oh no! That's the truck attack. He will hit he'll hit the ground and he'll spray out some rocks as well. So you've got to really watch out for that triple combo. That's usually the rock attack. There we go. Okay, we'll finish him off now. So wait for that triple combo. Try and roll out the way of the rocks, and then you can go in and get your final hit on Lido. Don't think there's anything out that side. There was an item out this way though. Nothing important, but a couple of chunks if you want some extra. I say not important because at this phase of the game you've most likely got quite a few fully upgraded weapons, or at least a couple of fully upgraded weapons, so chunks aren't as important as they used to be. And if you're just dropping down these couple of ledges, you can get Havel's ring +3, so that's a really important item to have for Ring City if you are planning on sort of wearing heavy armor. For instance, if you're wanting some really good armor against the Medea fight, you might want to have the Iron Dragon Slayer armor that we'll get very shortly. There is an item there. Don't really want to get it, but I guess I should. Adjudicator is going to probably try and come at me, so I'm just trying to avoid his attention for now. We can avoid his attention as long as possible. It's just going to make this a lot easier. So again, items like that, it's just soul items, so there's not a huge point in showcasing it other than the fact of you guys get to know what you want to pick up and what you don't. Coming up top here, there should be the bow, I think the white birch bow. It's got an unseen arrow, so it could be kind of fun in PvP mostly. Grab the Titanite chunk as well. You can get some young white branches from that tree. Just try and get away from those guys. All these guys you can come up and backstab or just right bumper. They'll all try and attack you as soon as you enter the building, so they are actually worth killing. So we come in the building and we can get the Church Guardian Shiv. It's basically like having unlimited throwing knives as long as you've got more FP. So they are quite cool. They're good for catching those who use Tears of Denial. And here we've got Dragon Slayer armor number 2. So I'm going to use the same typical tactic that I normally use, is sort of stay in front of him as much as possible, because he can sometimes do shield attacks to the side, which allow you to get those easy hits in. So just try and stay around his front, around his shield side, and wait for him to attack if he turtles. If he does that big attack, you can just get behind him and then get 2 hits in. Typically it's 1 hit in at a time though, because he is plus to recover. And use your shield, have your shield ready, just in case you happen to stuff something up. Oh, and that's why I typically don't go for 2 attacks. Just throws your rhythm out. For this attack you want to roll to the right. This helps you. So ready to roll to the right, and now. Ah, you're such a turtle. Thank you. Titanite Scale, and you can then grab his armor. Iron Dragon Slayer, as I said, that's quite useful for the Medea fight if you want to have sort of some nice fire resistant armor. To be honest, Dragon Slayer sounds pretty appropriate. So we can come and get the item from this tree here, and we'll then continue along the left hand side. There's not really anything else important in the middle of the swamp, so you can pretty much stick to the left hand side. Coming back, there is the Black Witch Veil that we'll be getting in a second, so if you want to complete your Black Witch set, that's where you can get that one. You will have to take this guy on, or otherwise just to try and avoid him. I typically just take him on. I don't know. I figure it's only 1. There's heaps more up top that I'll be avoiding, so. Try and get those backstabs. He's not making it easy at the moment though. Oof. Oof. Bit too early on that roll. There we go. That's what you want to try and get, is those backstabs. And I don't think there's any items around here, but I would be very annoyed with myself if there was. No. Now this next bit is going to be the more tricky bit, so you can continue on that way if you don't want to try this next bit. You can just keep going around there. There's a Twinkling Titanite, and we will be going to get that shortly. Yeah, we probably should take on the Adjudicator. You can sort of skirt around the outside here, but he usually sees you. And this is probably going to be where I die, honestly. Alright, for completion's sake, I am going to go get those items, but It's going to be a bit more of a speed run and a hope like heck that I don't get hit run, because I don't tend to get those items. I tend to ignore them. There is a ring knight sword that you can get a little bit easier, so I'll go and grab that one first. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this adjudicator. So if you just hug the wall up here, you can come and get the ring knight sword, straight sword. And there's the NPC that you can talk to here as well.
And fear. And fear.
There was the one up the ladder as well, if I didn't mention him. The one by where we're going to Lido. Now this is going to be the tricky bit. I'm going to grab the Preacher's right arm, which is a useful staff slash physical weapon. I'm going to grab this soul item, and now is where we run into trouble. Just going to grab that to show you what it is. Soul of Weary Warrior. And we're going to try and avoid getting hit by them. Just trying to hide behind here. Okay. Alright, hopefully. I think we're good now. Yep, alright. And there's the twink that I was talking about here. And then we can drop off the edge and head to the shortcut back by the bonfire. Now this is the secret part of Ring City. This is where you can either miss out on Lap's Quest or you can continue Lap's Quest. So it says to show your humanity. There's only one way that you can show your humanity at this point, and that is by going down to the abyss, using a white branch or a chameleon spell, and hoping that you get a humanity sprite as what you turn into. Once you've done it once, it will stay open though, so you don't have to worry about dying up there and then having to redo all this. So if you picked up the young white branches, just keep using them until you get a humanity sprite. You need to be in the show to be doing this. There we go, perfect. So we're going to take our humanity sprite up the staircase. I just have to showcase this because it's so funny. You can get it to sort of tail whip and sort of do like a little curl. I don't know, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, on with the walkthrough. Call my humanity sprites. Eventually, you'll get him here, and down comes the ladder. Unfortunately, you can't climb it as a humanity sprite, but we got pretty far. Now, we're going to have an adjudicator who's going to be calling down some enemies here, so he's going to be our first target. And then there's some ring knights hanging around the area as well, so they'll be our second targets. The one time that I do tend to die here is if I get both of those ring knights coming for me at the same time. It's just partly a matter of RNG. We'll see how we go. So try and get some hits in on the adjudicator as soon as you can. If we can finish him off as soon as possible, it just means we don't get him summoning people against us. And he'll drop the Titanite chunk for us and a Divine Blessing. Now I tend to run to the left here as soon as possible and take on this ring knight. If we can kill him very quickly, it just means we don't have to deal with two at once. Perfect. Beautiful. And then we can come back down and we'll have the other one. This is where it gets tricky. So try to roll through past that spear attack, and then hopefully you can get behind him. Okay, from here we can... I don't think there's any items actually. There might be an item. Let's just make sure. Don't think there's any items up top here, but I just want to make sure that there isn't. Because I don't really tend to explore here at all. It's one of the few places in Ring City that I've just not got much knowledge of other than where to go down. So this will take you to the Purging Monument. This is what we're doing for Lap's Quest. So we'll come across the bridge, we'll pick up the soul item, and we'll just make sure that we touch the Purging Monument, just so that we can say to Lap that we have been there. And then we'll head back. Now there is another way that you can get back that means that you pick up an extra shield. So I would recommend coming this way, picking up the shield, and then talking to Lap. And then we'll be heading towards Medea after that. There's a dragon head shield. Plunge him, and we can come down and talk to Lap.
What did I come here in search of? Damn. Stop it. I'm unbreakable. Unbreakable. Are you certain of that? No. Sorry, I know you'd never lie to me. Thank you. Thank you kindly. It won't be long now before I know everything. Who I was, what I lived for, and what my name was. And I'll have you to thank for it all. I swear that I am your friend. No matter what might come out, no matter what I was, if...
Yeah, so he's going to try and find out his true identity. He's going to go to the Purging Monument and see if he can remember who he was. We'll meet him soon enough. Let's find out what was what this guy had. Oh no. 2 twinks. There we go. We found out. I just wanted to do that for completion's sake. We'll go off and grab our souls, and then we'll continue on towards Medea. Yeah, apologies for the deaths in this walkthrough. I tend to try and make my walkthroughs as deathless as possible, but there's just sometimes where, especially if you're trying to get all the items and you're trying to do it relatively quickly, there's going to be some deaths involved. It's just part of, especially the DLCs. But yeah, I do hope this proves useful in terms of showing you where all the items are. I know you can get the walkthroughs on something like Extra Life and that, but just having the videos to show you sort of good paths through the areas and where all the items are, hopefully useful. And just as a side note, if I didn't say earlier, this is the one that you can talk to. This is the Locust. So there's dialogue from quite a few locusts around the place. Just making sure, did I get the dark gem that was here? There was a gem just behind here. Yeah, I must have done. Okay. Good. Alright, so this next part there is a dragon head great shield that we're going to be grabbing down below, and then we're going to be heading into where Medea is going to be. So you can see Medea up on the up there. So get ready to plunge. This is a nice spot to be able to get a nice easy plunge in. And there's our dragon head great shield. Titanite scale. Now make sure you've got a good fire resist shield. You can use the dragon head great shield if you've got the stats for it. You can use the normal dragon head shield. It's up to you, but just get ready to use one as you come into here, as you'll get hit by Medea's fire. Grab the soul item, make sure you avoid this guy as much as possible. Just get in, because Medea's going to come back for a second round, and so you're going to see some fire come through that area in a second. Grab the 2 Titanite scales there, and we should have Medea coming for a second round. If he's not, we're going to make our run through. Just be ready to hold your shield behind you at this point if you don't make it quick enough. But if you make it quick enough, you're okay. Grab the scales down there. Now there's only like rubbish and other items at the top. It's really not worth even showcasing those. And then you can make your path into this area. Now Lap's going to be here as long as you followed his questline fully.
Oh, finally, you've come. Now I know exactly who I was. And for that, I've a little thanks to be giving. Go this way and peep past the broken staircase. Some awfully fine treasures just sitting there all alone. It'll change your life. Much to thank you for. So I'll say it again and again. Go this way and peep. Don't you believe me? I've much to thank you for. Come on.
And this is actually the way that you want to go anyway, so if you just drop off here, if you haven't followed Lap's quest, you can actually just drop off here. But if you have followed Lap's quest, then he'll give you a little boost down.
Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men. Rubbish to one such as I, devoid of all worldly wants. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way we are. I'll stick you in my prayers. A fine dark soul to you.
So that is the completion of Lap's quest line. He will help you if you've followed that all the way through. He will help you for the Spears of the Church fight, so it can be useful to follow it through. And I just think it's quite a neat little playthrough, a neat little quest line. So I recommend it if you have the patience of going through and finding all those things and doing the secrets. It's quite nice to have as a sort of completion. There's the Ring of the Evil Eye +3 in this Mimic. I keep forgetting to buy Hunter Charms, so honestly, I apologize for this taking longer than it needs to. And if you haven't done the light side quest with Irina, then you'll end up having the Moaning Knight come after you here, which is basically Igon. So what you want to do is you want to come up this room with the skeletons. Now there's, as you can see, there's quite a few different passageways that you can go through here. This is the way up. This is the way to get to where Medea is. He doesn't have anything very important. It's again just a twink, I think. So coming up to the top, and again there might be a couple of other things down there, but nothing hugely important. Just like a blessed gem, and yeah, nothing big. So continuing on, we have Medea. He's going to come drop down here. Now this obviously isn't the Medea fight. This is just a sort of mini boss prelude to the Medea boss fight. What you want to do here is you want to hide behind that corner that I hid behind, wait for him to do his fire breath. So run past him before he does the fire breath, and then stand in this spot here on the rocks. This will mean you're safe from Medea's attacks every time you go back to that spot in the rocks. So get 2 or 3 hits in and stand back on the rocks. Wait for him to do his laser breath if he does that fire, and after the laser breath's finished, then you can get some more hits in on the arm. I tend to just keep repeating, so keep it in the arm, go back to the rocks, keep it in the arm. You can even get a couple more hits in here if he does that turning fire breath. Now this is where if he starts to get angry, try and get as many hits in as you can, because otherwise he's going to rage and it's very hard to avoid that. If you can deal enough attacks, then you'll be able to riposte him and hit him off the edge, and that's where you'll be able to go and fight him down lower by the abyss afterwards. Pick up the Titanite scale and we can continue on. So this is sort of the last 3 boss fights now. We're really close to the end of the Ring City playthrough. Has been quite a big walkthrough, but I think I've done pretty well at finding all the items, so I hope it's been useful, especially if this is your first time playing through. This is sort of what these are designed for, is people who want to make sure they get all the important things, like that lightning arrow that we just saw, the miracle. Want to make sure that you're getting all those, and not missing a whole heap. And just supplements the wiki and any other videos that people have done, any other walkthroughs. So this opens the door to the inner wall bonfire, ringed inner wall. And what we can do now is we can go down the lift, but you're ready to jump out halfway. And if you just come down the right hand path, you're able to drop down and get the Chloranthy ring +3. Oof, that was close. And then we can go back up the elevator, and this time we're going to head towards Medea's chamber. So again, hop out halfway, and we can grab the ember, get rid of the statue there. Now just pointing out, there's 1 statue to the right of it, and there's 2 statues to the left of it, so it's this sort of 3rd statue from the left that you can hit or roll through. It's the illusion. I think it's doesn't have a sword, was the clue about it. So we can summon Shira for this fight. That is one of the options. Again, if you're embered, so I'll just ember up just to show you. So there is the option to summon Shira, but I figure that she just really increases Medea's health. If you've got Pestilent Mist, that is amazing for this battle, so I do recommend Pestilent Mist if you want an easy Medea fight. However, I really enjoy this fight, so I quite like to do it with just weapons. But yeah, especially if it's your first time, just to get a better sense of how he attacks and to have a bit more of a chance, I might choose to use Pestilent Mist. You can get a couple of attacks on the head before this battle begins. You can actually roll through that first fire breath. If you're not comfortable rolling through it, you can roll to the right of it. Try and follow him closely, and you can always get a running attack in on the head. What I tend to do is I tend to roll backwards. Now you can roll from head to tail. There's a couple of methods. I'll try and showcase both in this battle. So if he does that forward fire breath, you get the chance to get around to the right and punish a couple of times in the head. You can keep rolling back from these attacks, or you can choose, if you want to roll through. If you roll through, he'll often stand up if you stand between his legs, and that gives you a chance to get some hits on the tail. sometimes. And then you can run back to the head. So you can keep doing the roll through if you want to, but I tend to, I try to get him to keep attacking me, just so that I get more attacks on the head rather than the tail. If you get enough attacks on the head, you'll get a riposte opportunity later, so I tend to go for that one. You can see how you can just sort of rhythmically roll through his attacks and just get back away from them. And one more roll here, and then you can generally punish the attacks that he does. Just watch out for that bite attack. You want to roll through to the back of him if he does the bite attack. And I'm talking about the raw, where he tries to pick you up in his mouth, not just the normal bites and that. If he flies up, again you just run to the left. Okay, that's the downward fire breath. Just hang to the right here. Wait for him to do that breath. Stay just outside the reach of the fire, and then run in close towards his head, and you'll actually get a good chance to get a couple of hits in after that breath. Again, bite attacks, so make sure you roll through. I tend to unlock if I'm going to roll through. If you stay locked on, it's very hard to get that roll correct. And again, he's going to do his forward breath, so if you can just run through to the right, you get that chance for a couple of hits on the head. Okay, this is going to be his explosion attack, so this is second phase now. So watch out for the explosion. Try and get some more hits in on the head, but if you can't, he's going to do his charge, so make sure you double roll through, and just wait for him to turn around. He'll do a tail whip as well, so watch out for that. And then you can again wait for this fire breath, and then roll through, double roll through. Wait for him to turn around, run head as much as you can. Try and get at least one hit on the head, and then hopefully we can resume our rhythmic rolling technique. That attack's going to be the humanity sprites, so just make sure you roll to the left, just keep rolling. It is a little bit dangerous because Medea will come after you as well. So you've really got to choose whether you want to avoid Medea or the sprites. I find that the sprites are better to avoid. Medea doesn't do as much damage as they do. You get hit by all of them. Just get back if he does that upward fire breath, and then you should get a chance for at least one hit on the head afterwards. And then if you get enough hits on the head, you get this chance for a riposte, which is just so satisfying. You get so much damage on him towards the end. And then you should hopefully, if you've done enough damage, you can finish him off. That's Medea. So we just got Half-Light and Gale, so we'll head back up and we'll go and do those fights. There are a couple of things to show you just before the Half-Light fight, and there's a couple of things to show you before the Gale fight as well. We can also... Where's the bonfire? There it is. We can also go back and we can talk to Shira now as well. So you can go and talk to Shira back at the back at where she was before, or you can just go through and we'll be able to get the stab from her a bit later. So you can get a Titanite stab from her now, or you can do it after you've beaten this next boss, Half-Light, and got to where Gale's arena is. We're just going to level up real quick because I've got over 1 million souls, and I feel like I would like to be a little bit more powerful if I can be.
retreating through darkness beyond the reach of flame. Mayst thou thy peace
Okay, we're gonna go back to inner wall, and we're gonna go fight Half-Light. Just before we do that though, we need to just grab a couple of items that we haven't yet got just outside this boss fight. Now this boss fight may not be Half-Light and may be a real person, so we'll just see what we get as we get there. If you're playing offline, obviously we'll get Half-Light every time. So he's the sort of NPC that will be the main part of that boss battle. But if you're playing online, you have a chance to get a real person who has either Spears of the Church or even just someone who's got their summon sign put down. So if you put your summon sign down, your white sun soapstone, and you're hoping to help someone else co-op through the area, you can just get randomly summoned as that boss. So just be aware of that if you're putting your sign down in Ring City. What you want to try and do is get the backstab on this guy because he is quite slow. So the backstabs are a little bit easier on him than some others. What makes it hard is you really have to watch out for a lot of dangerous attacks. Oh, good job. He's just spamming. Tell you what. Let's take our torch off. I got a plan. Got a plan. Ah, okay. He's better at PvP than I thought. Yeah, well done. Interrupting a walkthrough. Not that he'd have any idea, but my character is called Walkthrough, so if he's got character names on, it'd be quite funny. It is a little bit of a hotspot to be invaded. I think people tend to try and join Spears of the Church there, so they just decide they're going to either invade or become a Spear of the Church. So it is a little bit more busy than normal. I usually tend to use my Farron Greatsword for PvP, but I do use the Ring Knight, the Black Knight a bit more as well. So I was a bit surprised at how well he fared against that Black Knight, but couldn't seem to parry him either. I thought he was just spamming his right bumpers, but as soon as I went in for the parries, he's changed that strategy up. Anyway, we're not here to talk PvP. Let's just jump past this OE. Jump past this guy. You can pick up the Ritual Spear Fragment, which can be used in the boss fight as well there. And you can just drop down to grab the Twinks here. You can actually drop down from above as well. You don't actually have to do that jump. I'm just in the habit of doing the jump because I didn't know about the drop down until pretty recently. So. Anyway, we're going to leave the Greatsword guy alone to do his little business, and we're going to head into the Half-Light fight. So again, just pointing out, I seem to have to ember for every showcase. So Lap Sign is just down there. You can summon patches slash lap for this battle. Now you can kill Adjudicator Argo, but you can actually just wait for him to finish his little spiel. I tend to just wait for him to finish talking because it still takes a while after he's been killed before the Spear of the Church gets summoned. So. If you just stand here near Argo, there's going to be the Painting Guardian that spawns. Just don't get too close to Argo, otherwise he'll attack you. But yeah, the Painting Guardian, you can get the backstabbing on straight away, and then try and get a couple of spam attacks after he's made an attack. Okay, so we've got a real person. Oof, that's a lot of damage. So try and deal with the Painting Guardians first, regardless of whether this is Half-Light or a real person. Try and... So I'm just gonna delay this out because he's tried to use a Hunter Charm on me, and I'm not gonna let him take my healing out of the equation. Now usually you would try and go for Half-Light at this point, but I mean usually you'll try to go for the Painting Guardian, but I wanted to get him because I know that he's going to heal like that, but then again the Guardian can heal him as well, so it really is just you got to try and pick the strategy that you think's going to work. So it's just going to be me and him now at least. Oh, the spears above the head can be quite annoying. Oof. Got him. So unfortunately that wasn't the best boss tutorial for actual if you're going to be coming across Half-Light, but I have done a Half-Light tutorial on my YouTube channel, NedMel74 Gaming, so if you want to see the techniques that I use for Half-Light, you're welcome to go and check out the NedMel74 Gaming YouTube. And I don't think I've actually put up my Half-Light one yet, but I'm in the process of uploading all those, so it will go up there once I get there. But yeah, they've all been done, and I've done some. I did a parry only tutorial on that as well. but that is a little bit different to to a normal boss fight. I wouldn't recommend only parrying. It's just more a challenge that I did. Anyway, moving on, we've got Gale now. But before Gale, we have Shira and another ring knight that we need to take care of. I'm just going to let this clip play out to give myself a breather, let myself recover from the amount of speaking I've been doing. So. Oh no, don't touch the egg. Filianor's mad. Nah. It's all part of an illusion that gets shattered when you shatter the egg. VardyVidya has a nice little angel's egg video that he describes that in. That's actually the end of the world, but she's sort of been making it seem as if it's not. At least that's what I took out of it. Also, I have done videos called Outside the Box where I've used some mods on PC to get myself outside of this normal map, and it's really interesting to see that sort of all the backdrop has actually been included. So that's pretty much just a camera and looking at this area that's been designed. It's not like some superimposed clip. It's actually all been put there by the game designers. So it was really interesting going through and making those. And just seeing how the back wall is actually pretty much just a paint. It's actually 2D rather than being like a proper sun and things that have been put in place. It's yeah, really cool to check out. So would recommend the Outside the Box videos on the NadMel74 YouTube. Anyway, let's stop promoting our own videos and try and showcase some techniques. Backstabs on my go-to, especially for ring knights, and then follow that up with the right bumpers. Oof, bad timing on the rolls there though. Okay, let's just finish bumpers here. He's getting a bit annoying. Alright, so coming back up here, so you get the Titanite slab from him, which is really useful. And then we're going to get another slab from Shira. So Shira's upset that you've disturbed Filianor now, so she's no longer happy with you, even though you took care of Medea. She was happy about that if you go and talk to her, but she's against us now. Now, if you're doing this co-op, one thing that you can do, which is pretty cool, is you can have someone stand pretty much over here and wait for Shira to spawn. As soon as the host runs to the back of the room, the Phantom can take care of
stricken creature.
Shira straight away.
Daughter of the Duke,
now watch out for her plunging attack. When she puts it into the ground, she can do something like that, and that'll do a random effect out of like a perseverance, a perseverance, a bomb, and a something else. I try and bait the attacks, and then follow up with a couple of hits, a couple of right bumpers. Oof. Alright, let's try and use a technique against it. Let's try and do a perseverance. Try and punish any healing that she does as well. You can use Undead Hunter Charms if you do have them. Oh, I tried to roll through that.
No would forgive.
Make sure you pick up that slab as well. She drops the 2 items. And now, once we've got a little bit more of a rest of the bonfire, we're going to go take out the Devourer of Pygmy Lords. Big Gale. Yeah, we've rested. All good. So for Gale's fight, I do recommend a Great Shield. I have, with my boss tutorial, I've done it without one, but definitely recommend the Great Shield. You don't have to kill him, but yeah, all these Pygmy Lords are sort of seeking help of Villianor because of the red one that's come to eat them. Red one's seeking the Dark Soul, so if you talk to the painter before, she's saying how Gale's gone to find the Dark Soul, or the blood of the Dark Soul. And here we come across Gale in his beastly form. With Gale, a lot of the fight is either having very good timing on your rolls, or trusting in a Great Shield and getting up behind him. So I'm going to be using the easier method of the trusting in the Great Shield for this. A couple of side notes for Gale. I would recommend the a poison weapon or a toxic. So poison and toxic work really well on him. Frost is really useful on him as well. So like an Irithel straight sword, or like a poison barb sword, for instance. And then fire is really effective to actually deal damage.
Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul. For my lady's painting.
Don't trust in your Great Shield for that attack. That one where he jumps up and has the red. That's the one that you really don't want to trust in. I think I've got a fat roll on me. Should have thought about that. That's alright. We'll just prove that all we need to do is trust in our Great Shield. He can't deal a single bit of damage to me for this first phase, unless he breaks through the Great Shield. Watch your stamina though, as you saw there, I'll let it get a bit too low. You can sort of strafe around him to get behind him after that big chained attacks. Just keep trying to strafe around to the right. Just gives you a chance to get behind him and get a couple of attacks in, or at least one attack in. Again, make sure you roll for that red charge. You can actually stagger him out of that that combo. but you have to have done enough damage prior. And he will be a bit slower if you manage to frost him. Oh! Alright, again, I should have trusted my Great Shield a bit more. Just run back and heal if you need to. No big deal. Yeah, I shouldn't be rolling. Great Shield can take a lot. You will start to get a bit of damage in the second phase with the Great Shield, but it's fairly minimal. You don't have to worry about it too much. You can see there, I'm taking a bit of damage, but compared to the ability to get some good hits on him, it's not much. So again, just try and keep strafing around, get behind him as much as possible. If you need to, again, just get back and get those heals in. Shouldn't have taken 2 hits there. I didn't expect that he was going to stagger. That was a bit of luck on my part, to be honest. I know there's people who'll count like how many attacks before he staggers. Alright, when he starts doing that little moan and starts hunching over, just be ready for this. Try and run back and to the right. Watch out for the lightning in this phase. And sort of catch you off guard and give you a bit of a stagger when you're not ready for it. And he will start to get a lot more aggressive. And try and only get like one hit in now. Don't try and get too fancy. Make sure you get a good opening in his attacks before you attack. And he'll probably take my stamina off quite heavily with that combo. No, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Yeah, get back and just watch. Ooh, shouldn't have raised my shield for that. Obviously you got to keep letting go of left bumper just to let your stamina recharge between hits. But he usually leaves a little bit of a gap between hits anyway, so you can usually afford to. Ooh. Just knew I could get one hit in there before he did his red attack. And Gale takes 1 damage from the lightning, by the way. Being a little bit cheeky, but I know I can finish him. And that's it for Gale. Thank you guys for watching. I hope these walkthroughs have been helpful. Yeah. And if you have anything that you particularly want to see in the future, you're welcome to let me know either via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook page, Discord, Nedmel74 Gaming on all of them. You're welcome to search those up and let me know. If you like these videos, and if there's videos you want to see in the future, I'd love if you could give this a follow. I do always appreciate the followers. I'm trying to get up to 50 at the moment to become a Twitch affiliate. And yeah, trying to get all my videos out there so that you guys have some useful tips, and also some just fun streams that you can be a part of. Thank you guys for being a part of it, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Obviously the walkthroughs are done now, but we'll probably be doing a soul level 1 soon as well, so that's something else to look forward to. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.